If you're thinking about using CallRail for phone call tracking, then there's a couple of things to consider. First of all, tracking phone calls is typically very difficult. It's easy to track that you got a phone call. Obviously, there's that tracking, but knowing how the person got to the point to where they called you is a little bit more difficult to track traditionally. So let's say we'll just use the CallRail website as an example here. Let's say we're trying to purchase call tracking software, and we're looking at using CallRail. So we do a search on Google, and we land on a Google ad. We click on the Google ad, and then it brings us to this page. And when we land on this page, we load it up, and all of a sudden a phone number gets loaded up into here that's unique for us to call. When we call that phone number, there's a little tracking code on their website here that passes the information back from this session and allows Google Ads to determine that the phone call came from the ad that you clicked on. So that's one thing. But there's also, somebody may not have come from Google Ads. Somebody may have come from the organic search results or a referral from another website. There's all sorts of different ways people could land on the CallRail website and decide to purchase or call the sales team at CallRail to purchase, right? And so what their software does is it allows you to actually see the source of your calls. And that information is insanely valuable, especially when you're tracking the source of your leads from everywhere else. Like if you have a form on your website somewhere, we're on their contact page. They use ticketing, but if they had a form on their website, then we could fill that out, and Google Analytics would be able to just track where we came from. It would know that we came from, maybe we were on their Facebook page, we saw a post, and we clicked through, filled out the form. It would say, oh, look, you got a form submission from Facebook. Well, that's really quite easy to set up. But to be able to do that same thing when somebody calls you is just a little bit more difficult. And the tool the system that CallRail has set up is just brilliant. So essentially the way it works, I'll kind of give you a sneak peek into the back end here. We won't go too deep into things. I kind of want to just keep this high level, and then we'll start in other videos diving into things further. But when you set up an account, you can create a company. So let's say our company is CallRail. This is our example company here. We would essentially create a set of phone numbers. So let's say it's a number, they call it a number pool. So maybe it's 10 phone numbers. And then we set what's called a swap target. And so the swap target is going to be a number that we embed on the website. And then we just take a little code that CallRail gives us and embed it in the header section of every page on the site, or at least every page where we want the phone number to change or be tracked. And then what will happen is when somebody visits this site, that little code will fire, and you'll see it'll swap the phone number. It happens so fast, you kind of have to know what's happening in order to even see it. That's why I was trying to reload the page at the beginning of the video, because sometimes you can see it happening. I saw it happen when I first loaded the page up, but now this phone number is probably saved in my browser cache. And so every time I load this page, I'm going to see this same phone number, which is another cool feature. The phone number will basically track that user, so next time that user comes back, they'll see the same phone number. However, when somebody sees a phone number that's unique, one of those 10 phone numbers, gives it a call, that's how CallRail is able to know, oh, this is this user because we just showed them this number. We can see all this data based on this tracking code. And then when they call this phone number, they can track how long the call was, whether you answered, whether it went to voicemail, all that different stuff on top of where that call came from. So did that person find you, get to your website through organic search traffic from Facebook organic? Was it Facebook ad? Was it a TikTok ad? Was it an Instagram ad? Where where are all these phone calls coming from? You know the old cliche, I know half my marketing is working, but I don't know which half. Or I know half of my ads are working, but I don't know which half. That's that's why tracking is so important, because once you know where you're getting all of these phone calls, then you can start maximizing that source and expand it and get more and more and more and more and more and improve upon what's already working well for you. If you don't know what's working well, it's hard to improve upon it, right? And it could be that you're getting almost no phone calls from the source you think. Maybe it's Google Ads, right? Maybe you think all your calls are coming from Google Ads, and then you put CallRail on your website. Next thing you know, oh, actually all your calls are coming from your Google Maps listing or organic search traffic on Google, and you're just basically wasting all your money on Google Ads, and you don't even need to be doing that, right? So that is the general idea behind CallRail, is being able to track the source of your calls. And then also it's very helpful to be able to report that data back to different platforms. So like with Google Ads or Microsoft Ads, Facebook Ads, there's different ad platforms where you can connect and transfer the conversion data back to the platform, which means when somebody comes to your website and calls, it'll show up in Google Ads as a conversion, even if they call from this phone number that's on your landing page, which is typically impossible unless they click on the phone number. So like with Google Analytics, the only way you can track a phone call on a website is if somebody clicks on the phone number. There's no way to track if they just call the phone number, like type it into their phone, which is going to, if somebody's on a desktop, most often you're just going to pull up the website, type the number into your phone and call. And so you don't really have much of a way to track those phone calls unless you're using a tool like CallRail. So I hope you found this video helpful. If there's anything you did have questions about in terms of how CallRail phone call tracking works, anything of that nature, don't hesitate to reach out. You can just drop your questions in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get back to them there. Look, if you're the type of person that just doesn't even want to deal with your online marketing anymore, and you'd rather just hand it over and have somebody take care of it for you, or if you really just want to talk to somebody and get some pointers, let's connect. I do offer consulting. I have different services I can offer to help you grow your business through digital marketing. But yeah, feel free to check out my website. You can come on over to traviswilkie.com. Here's how to spell it because it's kind of funky. But you can come check out some case studies, see the results I've been able to get for my clients over the years. And if you're interested, we can connect. I'd love to help you out. If you can't tell, I love helping business owners grow, especially when it comes to digital marketing. So, all right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.